What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another trade recap. Today, I took one trade. It was a winner, about 1.3 R, and I passed my one of my 150K evals. I have, I think, four or five more evals that are like 1.5 R away from passing, so that's pretty cool. And I'll walk you guys through like what I took, as well as the bias and all that jazz. So hopefully you guys can learn something. But yeah, I was more bullish just because like on the higher time frame on the daily, it just looks so clear in terms of we're in a very clear buy model to all time highs here, right? And then yesterday we inversed this daily gap, so I was like, okay, I'm already gonna be leaning more bullish on the lower time frames. But if middle of the day I see like 15-minute order flow flip bearish, then I'll flip bearish because I trade like the 1 minute, right? So the daily doesn't have as much influence on me as perhaps the 15 minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour. So yeah, going into the day here, I didn't really do anything at open. We had this data high here, and then we had this another data low here. Um, from I forgot what it was, like some Trump tweet, but we had two opposing liquidity pools, and typically, if that's the case, price action can suck a bit, right? But just because it price can like kind of be confused as to which one it wanted to go to, so I had that in the back of my head. And in terms of short-term bias, I was like, okay, I think we're gonna still go to this data high as long as we hold this 15-minute gap, and everything below all of these relatively equal lows, and there's like session lows down here, like London lows. It just was not relevant to me as long as this 15-minute gap held, because I knew that if this 15-minute gap held and we should display strongly to the upside, then this 100% is gonna be the drawn liquidity, right? So I kind of stood around, did nothing really. I saw this 5 minute trigger. I didn't take it just because um, it's just like what I've realized is the inverses I take, they're the best if it's like more of like a V shape, if that makes sense. So if I wanted to take a short, I would have waited for this 15-minute gap to close below. Hence why well, I think the reason this 5 minute failed is obviously it's a bit ugly, and then the bias was bullish today. Um, just because of higher time from order flow and then this 15-minute gap holding, right? So yeah, like I was saying, I was basing my entire bias off this 15-minute gap, and one thing that just confirmed my bias even more is during New York at 10 o'clock, we got this order block that got formed here on the 4 hour. So that just told me that okay, we're probably just going to go to all-time highs like this month, or just sometime in the next few weeks, and I should probably just be more bullish during this session, or I should be bullish just because of the 4 hour. So then what ended up happening is I saw this 15-minute gap get opened up, and that was the trade I took. I didn't take the 15-minute, I took the 5 minute, but it closed at the same time. And then I set TPs based off the 3 minute. So here, stop loss was 25 points, and my first TP was at this high. I think this was at 1R. Yep, 1R. So I scaled out there, TP1. I went break even at this internal high, so I went break even relatively quickly. And then I scaled out the remaining position at this 3 minute SIBI. TP2. TP2. And then I would left about 20% of the position up to data highs, which obviously has not been hit yet. I think it will be hit. I think we're just generating liquidity here for PM session, and I would expect PM to continue higher. Obviously that won't happen if we inverse this external 15-minute gap, though. And yeah, so TP2 here, and then after TP2, I trailed my stop loss to this internal. So let me just do this for you guys. So here was my stop here. After this internal high got swept, I moved it to break even. And then what do you call it? After TP2, I moved it down to this 5 minute order block here. And obviously I got stopped out by that death candle. Really thankful for that, because even if I didn't trail my stop and I left at a break even, I still would have got stopped out, right? So yeah, I mean, pretty textbook play in my opinion. I thought it was super obvious. I mean, yeah, I thought it was super obvious. It looked great. It's just one of those trades. What I've been like relying on more is like more of my intuition because I have been developing more screen time, and obviously I only trade this model, so I really know I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I've noticed that every time that like like subconsciously or just I have like this internal, I don't know what else to call it besides like a gut feeling that like this trade will work, and if it doesn't work, then I'm completely okay with that. Like that's my internal dialogue. Then that's always a good trade. Whereas if it's like, I mean, this could work. I mean, I could probably make some money off of this. Like, and I'm kind of hesitating internally, then I know it's a bad trade. That's exactly what happened with this 5 minute gap here, and that's why. Well, I wasn't gonna take it internally, but just like I wasn't actually gonna take it, but just my internal dialogue was just saying, oh, this is probably just not gonna work because of how messy the momentum looks, right? Whereas the 15 minute, it just kind of just was a straight V shape, and we had a really strong wick off of 50% too. Right, it literally went all the way into OT and it just wicked up. Um, and yeah, and it was great because the 5 minute closed with it and the 3 minute, so it was like all time frame closes at the same time for the inverse. There's like really nothing else. Like there's really no other reason why price wouldn't go up to at least these internal highs, right? Which it did before having this weird dump and then whatever we're doing right now. But yeah, that's really it. Up about 1,300 across my two fundeds, and I passed the 150K eval, which is sick. So that's awesome. So hopefully you guys learned something from today's video, and I will see you guys in the next trade recap. Have a blessed one.